Hey everybody, Arturo Johnson here, and welcome to today's training on the perfect appointment setter framework. And so, what I've done is I have set up a framework and scientifically deconstructed the perfect appointment setter framework, which is basically how you break down the VSL. And this is gonna be amazing because you haven't really seen anybody do it this way, and this is how we're able to convert at over 30%. And so just want to kind of share with you some of the numbers that we have, because when I was looking back at this, it was pretty staggering. And it's been amazing. And so I just wanted to kind of share that with you guys really quickly. So let me just pull this up real quick. And so before I implemented this, if we can go back to probably like December, you can see only at like 18%, which is still pretty good. But my cost per strategy session was like $440. And then I was still collecting over 122, but you know, the cash was like 70. And so what happened is we made this amazing shift, and we started getting calls for $62, right? And the conversion rate went up to 20%. Now the average is about 500, about 5%. And cost per strategy sessions, the cost per call went down to $62, excuse me, 36 units, right? And we did over 100 cash with only 14,000 in ad spend. So this is something that we've perfected. And so this is why you should pay attention to this video. And this is why this one is important. But more importantly, we did a 625% ROI on cash. And then in the next month, we spent 11. And let's see, our video conversion rate was 30%. And then our cost per call was $49. So our CPA was $518, and we did a 520% cash ROI. Now, most people are trying to get to 120%, but we're doing 520. And so a perfect appointment setter framework is why you should pay attention to this video, because it's absolutely amazing. I'm going to walk you through it, and I'm going to show you exactly how I was able to do that. And so this is the framework that I use. So anytime I'm about to create any type of video to get booked appointments, because that's what we all want, right? I pull out this framework, and I go through this step by step. And I learned this a long time ago from two of my mentors, Sam Ovens and Russell Brunson. And no, they didn't have this framework out, but I studied their videos and what they were doing in it. And so, being a part of Quantum, I was able to study Sam Ovens really, really closely. And I noticed that these two were very different styles, but they were doing the same thing. And so I broke these things down into some constituent points. And so every time we create a new VSL, we pull this out. And so if you were at zero, right, and needing to get to your first 10K, or you're at 100K, you're trying to get to that 300, 5K level, this is going to be amazing for you. And so I'm just going to go ahead and get started. And so the perfect appointment setter, right, this is an amazing process. And what you want to do is pull this out. And so if you got this training, you'll be able to get this PDF. And the number one goal is not to teach them everything they need to know in a 30-minute video to be successful. Your responsibility is to inspire them and give them belief that what it is that you are offering can help them. And I got this from Russell Brunson. Your responsibility is to inspire them and give them the belief that what it is that you're offering can help them. And so that's the most important thing. And yeah, you need to give a little bit of value, but your goal is not to teach them everything they need to know in order to have success. Your goal is to inspire them, to get them to believe that what it is that you offer is the thing that's going to get them to the next level. And so, rule number one, of course, the most important thing is don't be boring, right? and you want to get right into it. And so you can see on the chart over here, over to the right, bold promise. You want to get right into it, right? So before the end of this video, you're going to get X, right? And that's what you insert your bold promise. And so, for example, I'm going to show you how to double your VSL bookings by simply adding this one thing to your landing page, right? And what you're doing here is you're giving them a clear message on what they can look forward to getting from this presentation. And I find so often sometimes we overlook this, and that's why we get unqualified bookings on our calendars and strategy sessions, is because people aren't really clear on what they're going to get from this, right? Your landing page conversion is a lot lower. The VCR is really low because you don't hit them with the bold promise right in the beginning. And then the next thing you want to do after you create that is you want to move to a hook to the end. And, you know, for everybody who stays to the end, you're going to get X, right? Or everybody stays to the end, you're going to be able to get this thing. And so you want to hook them to the end to let them know if they stay through the entire video, they're going to get something special. For example, if you stay to the end, I'm going to share with you a way to get this free checklist on how we book 50 appointments a piece, right? And so that gets their interest that they're going to get something at the end for staying through the entire video. And that's important because we know that in the first 5 minutes, the engagement is high, and then after that it drops off, and then right as you go into the transition and the close, it also drops off. So you want to hook them to the end with a little gift. And the next thing is you want to command attention, right? So we want to command their attention. Close out your browsers. This is going to be the most amazing thing you're going to see this year. And so if you're stuck or you've been trying things and it hasn't worked for you, now's the time for you to pay attention, because you're going to get everything you need to know. And there may be just one thing in this video that can make you $1 million. So close out all tabs, get off social media, close your email and Slack, and pay close attention. Right. And so this is going to be the most impactful 30 minutes that you're going to spend on your business. All right. And so you want to tell them that this year. So close out all tabs and put your phone on do not disturb. And so you just want to let them know that. And the thing is people are looking to be led. And so when you command people to take action, they know they should close those things out. But sometimes you just gotta remind them, right? And so this command is really like a reminder. Hey, this is going to be really important to you. So what I want you to do is I want you to eliminate all the distractions, and I want you to take good notes, right? Retention is in listening and writing. And I know Alex Hormozi said this in his book, is like, if you're listening to it, that you want to follow along in the book, because this increases your retention. And so if you're trying to make an additional $1 million, I want you to take notes and follow along. All right, cool. And so the next thing is we want a future pace. And so what you want to tell them is, you know, what the future is going to be like. And so here's what I like to use is, by the end of this masterclass, you're not going to make $1 million. In fact, when I got started, all I wanted to do was make my first 100K. Imagine if you had a VSL that got you clients for $500 CPA, and you sold a 5K product, and all you had to do was get like 20 sales in a month. How awesome would that be, right? So you want to future pace them, because if you can share with them how they can have a VCR of over 33%, right? And they can get strategy sessions for $49, and they can have a CPA of 518 and have a cash ROI of 520%, then they're going to listen to you. So imagine what that's going to be like if you can just learn that from this training. And so when doing that, you want to future pace them on the ideal outcome. And so then next we move into the content. And I see this so often is your VSL has to focus on the big idea. And the reason why this is important is because a lot of times what I found, and Russell says this all the time, is when you're trying to convince people of more than one thing, that's when the conversions dramatically decrease. And so what you want to do is you want to convey one thing that you're trying to convince them of, so that if that one big domino, right, that's what Russell Brunson calls it, is knocked over, then the 3 points that we're going to go over that kills their limiting beliefs, once you knock those down and it all supports the big domino to knock that one down, and supports the big idea, then you have convinced them. All right. And so what the goal of this is, you're just trying to help them accomplish what this one big idea. So for us, we're trying to help coaches, consultants, and entrepreneurs to get more appointments. And we're trying to help them increase their profit so that they can scale their business, right? Because we all know that cracking paid ads is probably the most difficult thing to do. And then once you do that, now you can scale. You can hire setters, you can hire sales reps, and then that really removes you from the business, working in it to now working on it. And that's how you break through that 100K. That's how you go from 100K to 500K really, really quickly. And so for my VSL, I'm just trying to convince coaches and consultants that they can crack paid ads and get clients profitably with just changing this one simple thing. And it is. If you can nail the VSL, it can change your entire business. So then inside the one big idea, your goal is to identify the three false beliefs and misconceptions that they believe, and then shatter them, and then build, and then rebuild them, right? Excuse me, I typo that, and then rebuild their beliefs, right? And so I'm gonna repeat that again. You have the big idea, and then you want to identify three false beliefs or misconceptions. Then you want to shatter those, and then you want to rebuild their beliefs. And so over here, what you can see is that's where the 3 points, and these are the 3 points that you're going to talk through. And these 3 points are really important because this is kind of what you're going to do. So you're going to tell them what the problem is. You're going to reiterate that. Then you're going to tell the story to explain it, and then you're going to offer the solution. And so your big idea should be articulated by using the blank to blank formula, right? And so, for example, how to lose belly fat in 30 days without having to eat veggies, right? And so that's your big idea. And then this is also where you kind of tell your backstory, how you learned or you earned the knowledge. Now, this is kind of a deeper next level thing that most people really don't do. And so I really want to kind of advocate for you to pay attention here on this one. Is after you give your big idea, you want to tell people how you learned it or how you earned it. And there's something called perceived value. So if you tell somebody how you earned it and you tell them about all the things you went through, how much money you spent on courses and training, spend $1 million testing ads and coaches and agencies, and you struggled through this and it took you almost like 6 months to do it, then that really increases the value of this. If you tell people that it took you almost a year of running your own agency and spending your own money to grow your business, and then finally you decided after going through the school of hard knocks and failing that now you wanted to kind of share this, it really increases the value and establishes your expertise on the thing that you're teaching. And so why you're sharing this today is so that they can skip the hard stuff and have success quicker. And that's really what you're doing when you're telling people how you learned it or how you earned it. And also the backstory is where you qualify yourself. So you can talk about the success you had and post your numbers and everything, and just explain to people why you're qualified to talk about it, whether it's how many testimonials you have, how much revenue you're doing, how much profitability you have, whatever you're doing. This is the moment where you can kind of tie that in to your story. And when you get to the end of your backstory, that's where you want to kind of talk about the biggest achievements. And this is where you talk about how this has changed your life, right? And also, not only has it changed your life, but it also changed the lives of your clients. And this is how you can introduce your first case study, right? And this is kind of why we're talking about this VSL. Even in the financial services niche, which is one of the hardest things. Selling life insurance is the hardest thing in the world to do. And my client, Kevin Alexander, when he came to me, he was doing about 30 to 50K, up and down, up and down. And he was buying leads and still going door to door. And we got him fully virtual. And within the first 45 days, I think he did over 125K selling life insurance using this VSL. And now he's doing between 150 to 200 every single month on autopilot. And that's where you can kind of insert your your biggest case study. And so the goal of the false beliefs is not to teach them random stuff, right? But to identify their false beliefs and then shatter them. And so that's why over here, if you look to the right, we have false belief number 1, 2, and 3, because the goal is not to teach them random things, but it's to serve a purpose. So if you want to think of these false beliefs as like pillars, and the big idea is like the fourth leg, and then the false beliefs are the other 3 legs. And what you want to do is you want to not use these false beliefs and every time you knock one of those down, it just weakens this house or this tower. To after you shatter these false beliefs, then that big domino, that big idea comes shattering down. And so with the false belief number 1, you want to talk about the vehicle or the opportunity, and then you want to share a problem, a story, and a solution. So for example, number 1, the vehicle, right? So you want to make sure that you do this very strategically. You want to talk about that opportunity, whatever it is that you're offering. You want to talk about the misbelief, the misconception, or the false belief of this, and then you want to tell a story about that situation, and then you want to offer the solution based off of one of your clients that has overcome that, or if you have overcome or achieved that. So then number 2, false belief number 2, right? So we knock down that first leg, which is the vehicle, the opportunity. And then the next one is internal, which is their ability to use the vehicle to hit their goal. So now we're stacking, right? So now we knocked down the leg of number 1, the first pillar of the vehicle. And now we're going to tie that into, okay, now you can use this vehicle, right? And here is what you can do in order to use that. And so we want to use an internal false belief that they have. We want to talk about that problem. And then we want to share a story. And then we want to offer our solution. And then number 3 is we want to offer the false belief, which is external. And this is the number 1 thing that they believe is keeping them from getting started and from hitting their goals. And so a lot of times what people have is they have the opportunity they're worried about, they have an internal false belief, and they have an external one. And that's what we're doing here is we're knocking down all 3 of these legs, and we're shattering their false beliefs. And then we're using the story to kind of to rebuild it back, and then we offering a solution to give them hope. Okay, and this is very important. So coming up with it, I know Russell kind of used the 3 secrets or whatever, but we want to use these. We want to use these 3 false beliefs here, and so then testimonial stack. So this is where we kind of transition. So after we talk about the 3 problems, this is where we transition into talking about, so my client X, Y, and Z, and his niche or his offer was X, Y, and Z. And when he first came to me, he struggled with X, Y, and Z, blah, 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 blah. And what we found is that we just made this one simple tweak, and then we talk about the success that he had. And that's when it changed for him, right? And when he first came to me, he was writing this, and in the next blah, blah, blah months, he's been able to do over 100K. Isn't that amazing? Absolutely awesome. And but not also him. It was Karen, and she's in the dating niche. And when she came to us, she was doing a lot of one-on-ones, and she was blah 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 blah. And her backstory is that she was doing this and that and that, and she was really struggling to get clients consistently. But we made this one shift, and we got her VSL working for her. She was able to do 50K in the first 7 days. Isn't that amazing? And then you want to share the case study. And so now after we shatter their beliefs, now we want to inspire them by sharing them 3 case studies. We call this the testimonial stack of some people that have had success. So now they can see people that are just like them, that are where they are, and they achieved their goal after we broke those false beliefs. All right. And so then the next thing we want to do is we want to transition into asking them a question. So now, after seeing those testimonials, those are amazing, right? Well, let me ask you a question. And this is where we do the if all, right? And so if all this system did was something related to the next false belief, like if all this did was get you an extra sale per day, would it be worth it? If all this did was got you the second false belief, got you a funnel that was more profitable, on day one cash so that you can stop worrying about if you needed to turn off and on your ads and finally scale to 100K per month. Would it be worth it? All right. If all the system did was, and false belief number 3, give you 15 to 25 qualified bookings a day so that you can finally build a sales team and fill their calendar every day, would it be worth it? And so what you want to do is you want to qualify them and say, if all this did was give you X, Y, and Z, would it be worth it? Because other than the training, is just like you want to isolate these things because this is very important. And once you do this kind of increases the perceived value of your program, but also you're getting them to think, yes, yes, yes. And so then from here, this is where you kind of go into the close. And so if the answer to those 3 questions are yes, and this is where you kind of go into closes. And these are kind of some of my favorites. And so you got 2 choices. And this is where you transition to really hard closing them to get them to take action. And so this is where you can tell them if they do nothing, they're going to get nothing. Or they can just do the smart decision and get a step-by-step plan to achieve success. And so what I like to do is say, so you got 2 choices. 1, go at it alone and try a bunch of different marketing gimmicks, spend thousands of dollars and years trying to figure it out on your own. Or number 2, smart option. Follow a proven, battle-tested system from a client acquisition expert that's helped over 500 business owners in your similar position, right? And so what's cool about this is everybody wants to skip the school of hard knocks. Nobody wants to make the same mistakes. They don't want to fail. And so what you can do is say, hey, man, you can keep, watching YouTube videos, but the information alone isn't going to get you there. And it's not going to go deep enough. Or you could just skip that and learn from us, right? And so that's the close I really like to use. And then this second one is pretty good too, which is the information close. And the goal of this close is to help them to understand that while they have gotten some awesome information, right, not only do they need the tactics, but they also need the 90-day step-by-step strategy to help guarantee their success. And so this information close is very cool, right? Because it's like information alone isn't going to give you success, right? But they don't just need the tactics. They need the step-by-step strategy to help ensure that they can guarantee that they can hit their goal and have success, right? And so with this one, right, you can see down here with information alone, is so you can say something like, so now that I've told you how the whole system works, I've shown you how you can you lose belly fat in 30 days without eating vegetables. And I've shown you that you only need to implement this one simple thing to make all of this work. But you know what? To be successful with this, you're going to need more than just information alone, right? And I know you can be successful with the system, but you're going to need a mentorship and a winning community. You may have questions that need answering. You might need help and accountability. And with the right mentorship and community, we won't let you quit on yourself. We'll get through this together, right? And I can't do this in one short video or PDF alone, right? It won't get the job done. The success rate of entrepreneurs that go at it by themselves is 0%. But our success rate for those who work with us as a closer is 100%. The information alone won't work. If it did, then you could just go to Google just to get to 100K per month, right? So what you need is a guy that's been there before, someone who has climbed to the top of the mountain before and who can help guide you straight to the top, right? And so what are we doing here? We're saying that you could consume this information, all right, and do nothing and your life isn't going to change. Or what you can do is you can partner with us and we'll help you get to the top of that mountain. And that's one of my favorite ones. And that one always works. And then the last one is the us versus them close. And the goal of this close is to call people as either doers or dabblers, right? And what you want to do is you want to frame them to be the either or. And so typically what I like to do is, because this is an amazing framework, is like either they're a doer or they're a dabbler, right? And so I'm guessing there's two kind of people listening to me right now. You're either a doer or a dabbler. And dabblers just love to sit, listen, and learn, but they rarely ever do anything. Often they look for any excuse not to move forward. But some of us are doers. We're not sure how it's going to work out for us, but we see how it's worked for many others just like us. So we have faith that it will work out for us as well. And what I found is that the doers, we get ahead of life. We're the ones who have achieved the most and are the happiest. As far as the dabblers, they seem to just barely get by simply watching video after video and don't take the first step and never book a call and never really seem to achieve true success. All right. And so what we're doing here is we're saying, are you a doer or a dabbler? Right. And but also I'm saying us. So I'm saying you guys get it. You're like us. And what we do, and since we get it, is we get ahead in life. And we're the ones that have achieved the most and are happiest, because that's really what people want, right? Is they want to have success and they want to be happy. And so when you do that successfully, very simply, you can use that close. And then you just want to give them a call to action right after that. So you want to reiterate what they truly desire, and then you want to tell them what to do next. So if you're like me, you're good at what you do, you love helping people, and you want to make a good living from anywhere in the world, then this is for you. So go ahead and click the link below and book a call with myself personally or someone from my team so that we can crack paid ads together and scale to that 100K per month level. You'll be taken to a page where you can pick the time that best fits for you, schedule a call, give us a little bit more information about your current situation and on this 45-minute call. At worst, you'll leave with a newfound game plan of your goals and how to achieve them. And if it's a good fit, we'll make you an offer to work together. If not, no worries, we'll refer you out to one of our partners. No big deal. So go ahead right now, click the link below, book a call. It's your time. Let's do this. Right. And then that's pretty much it. And so if you follow this strategy right here and go through this step by step, this will take your business to the next level. And so hopefully you found this helpful. This is something that can really 10x your business, get you more qualified appointments. And so I hope you enjoyed this. All right. Take care.